riding on this game. How sweet is it to come away with all 3 points?
Yeah, so sweet, you know, with that derby, important game, and, you know, we needed this win. You know, our home form's been a bit of hit and miss lately, but, you know, hopefully with this big win today, we can kick on from here for the rest of the season.
And that system is one you haven't really used at home. It really seems to suit you all.
Yeah, today it worked superbly, and you know, we executed our game plan perfectly today. We conceded, you know, a sloppy goal in the end, but, you know, to come away with the 3 points was the main thing.
Did you think you'd scored the opening goal when it left your boot?
Yeah, I didn't catch it as sweet as I wanted to, but, you know, luckily Olivier followed up with the goal, so, you know, that was the main thing.
And tell us about him, because so much talk during the transfer window and stuff about him. What does it say about his attitude and his talent, but despite so few opportunities, he could still perform like that today?
Yeah. While the transfer window was running, you know, you could see how professional he was day to day, giving 100% in training. You know, he went to know what was going to happen, and, you know, he kept his head down, worked hard, and, you know, he's got the rewards today, and, you know, we look ready, you know, to help the team out for the rest of the season.
And what's this do for you all in the race for 4th in Champions League football and so on?
Yeah, it's a big boost. You know, confidence for the team. You know, a big win at home against a good side, and, you know, and hopefully we can carry on with what we achieved today.
Well, Ross Barkley's inclusion today raised a few eyebrows amongst my 2 guests as well. What did you think of his performance today, Tim?
I thought he did very well, Ross. You know, his lack of opportunity in the Chelsea shirt. It's only his 7th Premier League start. Has probably cost him his England place. You know, there's a big Euro tournament coming up. He'll want to play. He deserves to play the next game, that's for sure. He's under pressure all the time because they're strong in that midfield area. And if he gives them something different, he can make runs off of the ball. And when you've got Giroud coming short, as Michael highlighted at half-time, we'll show you again, like some Mason Mount and Barkley have to run beyond and occupy the centre halves. And that's what he did brilliantly today.
And played a part in that second goal, which was wonderfully worked from Chelsea's perspective.
It was. I mean, we did mention at half-time the likes of Giroud, Mount and Barkley in particular today, and we were interested in that. And look at this, Giroud to Mount to Barkley again for this second goal. Just look as well at Barkley, the way he checks over his shoulder twice to look at Alonso to see who's coming in that gap. Just watch him there in the middle of your screen. There's one, there's another one, and then the final pass. So he knows exactly what's around him, which is very important as a midfield player, Tim.
Yeah. We said that Alonso was pushing the wing backs of Tottenham back. Him and James in the first half were pushing them back. We said at half-time Tottenham have to stop that. They have to try and arrest that. They have to do the opposite to Chelsea. Try and put the onus on them to try and defend. You know, the first half has only just started. They overload on that side, and it's a great strike from Alonso. 2-0, very difficult to come back from that.
And that showed you the confidence coursing through the veins of the Chelsea players at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they had a great result away from home against Tottenham, and of course, when you get off to a start like they did, all those good feelings, all that confidence come flooding back. But as Tim said, I mean, Tottenham did nothing, really nothing throughout the game to, 1, to stop Chelsea, but 2, to hurt them going the other way. And it was a real disappointing game. I know they've got injuries, and I know Jose Mourinho will hide behind those injuries, but, I mean, they still have world-class players. They still had an awful lot of money expense out there. In fact, their starting 11 was more expensive than Chelsea's, so you're expecting to see more than that.
Yeah, OK. Now, there are 1 or 2 incidents that went on in that 90 minutes, involved Tottenham's Giovanni Lo Celso. Dermot Gallagher, former Premier League referee, as you can see, joins us from the match centre. Dermot, tell us, was Lo Celso lucky not to see red in one of the 2 incidents he was involved in today?
Very much so, Manish. I think the incident involving Azpilicueta, you know, the VARs, Michael can't see it. You know, if you see here, here's Michael's position. Here it comes in, he loses the ball there as it comes away. Bang. Michael can't see that because Azpilicueta's body shields it. But at that point, he goes to VAR. I think that's the shot, isn't it? It goes to VAR. Again, you see that shot, tells you everything. When it goes to VAR, for whatever reason, Dave Couters, whether he's talked himself out of it or thought himself out of it, I don't know. But he's decided it's not a clear and obvious error. You know, David's human. He's made that mistake.
Yeah.
But I feel that at that point, if he'd have felt it was a red card, he could have recommended Michael to go across to the RRA. And a referee of Michael's calibre will go across the RRA. He will see what we've seen, and he will make the decision to send off.
I mean, I have to ask a question. How can he possibly make the decision that that was not a red card?
All I can think, Manish, is maybe he's looked at it and looked at it and looked at it, and the more times he's looked at it, he's convinced himself it's not. And I think sometimes when you're a referee, you go with your gut reaction. We saw it up here. My gut reaction was red card. I think if you watch it and watch it and watch it, you think, is it, isn't it, is it, isn't it? But you see the pictures. There's no angle you see that does it any justice. You know, it's...
Yeah, and as you say there, it leaves very little room for doubt. And if there was doubt in, say, David Coots' mind, he could have asked Michael Oliver to consult the pitchside monitor because he was only literally metres away from it there, was he not?
Well, I think that's the issue, Manish, isn't it? I think without doubt that if Michael, as I say, Michael, one of the best referees in the world, had gone to the RRA, he would have said, blimey, from where I was, I didn't see it like that. You know, having seen that, you know, bring a red card out. And we wouldn't be talking about it, Manish, to be honest, because everybody would say, well, that's what we expected. I think the outcome everybody expected was a red card for Lo Celso.
Yeah. Tim, Michael?
Well, what I want to know, Dermot, is what is stopping it? Because they're obviously, we're not going to our officials are not going to the monitor. Is that a directive from above, or why aren't our on-field referees taking more responsibility and going to the pitchside monitors?
I think, Michael, it's a little bit unfair to say the on-field referees. I understand what you mean. What they felt was if they're going to go to the monitor, it will be where the VAR feels that there's an error of judgment on the field. It's going to be recommended a red card. So the referee goes and makes that ultimate decision. I think in this case, as I say, for whatever reason, Dave Coote, whether he just completely talked himself out or what, he recommended it wasn't a clear and obvious error. And at that point, they don't go to the monitor. It's unfortunate, but as I say, going back to that, if he had gone to the monitor, we all know what would have happened.
OK, great stuff. Dermot, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Let's get some more post-match reaction on what was a big win for Chelsea. Let's hear from Cesar Azpilicueta and Olivier Giroud.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Olivier, particularly for you. A pleasing afternoon all round.
Well, it was a very important game for us today. I want to talk about the team spirit. And we've shown a great character today. We knew that it was maybe a kind of turning point, you know, because we were not in... we lost a bit of maybe confidence, you know, at home. It was nice to bounce back and to get this win, hard win, but against a rival. So yeah, I feel relieved today.
A great team effort, as you say, but personally for you, you've been kicking your heels since November. I mean, fantastic. The first goal was fabulous as well.
Yeah, it's a good movement with Giorgio. We have a good understanding, and I knew we were going to put the ball there. Was on my right foot, couldn't get on my left one, so I tried to finish. And after Ross followed the action, and I was lucky the ball came back after hitting the post, and I tried to finish. Wow, yeah, it was a good feeling for me, a good moment, and I'm so happy for the team, to hold the team to win this game today. And yeah, it's been 3 months. I didn't start, so yeah, it was a special day for me and for all of us.
Has he made a point to his manager today, Tim?
Absolutely. I mean, Olivier Giroud, when he was available in the January window, I was thinking everyone chasing the top four, Manchester United, Arsenal would have him back again. Perhaps not Arsenal. They've got some attacking forces. Tottenham certainly would have had him. Everyone would have had him. And I was thinking, there's something he's done wrong there at Chelsea for Frank Lampard not to give him the opportunity. But seeing his attitude coming on there today, having only started 3 games this season in the Premier League, extraordinary attitude. Yeah. And people are watching at home and think, well, he's a professional footballer, he gets paid a lot of money, he should have that attitude, but there's plenty who wouldn't have had that attitude. He was willing to roll up his sleeves and prove to Frank Lampard that he's still got a big influence on this chase for top 4. And I think he did brilliantly today. He plays in a different way to Tammy Abraham. Of course he does. But Frank knew that. That's why he's a good manager and a good coach, because he knew he comes up, stick on, back to goal, even though for the first goal he moves Alderweireld, but he's going to have to change his midfield dimensions. And that's what he did. He got Barkley on there, he got Mason Mount. It was a brilliant game plan from Chelsea today and Frank Lampard.
The only question you do have, don't you, is why is Frank Lampard only sparingly used in this season? It does pose the question. However, luckily for him, he did have a good attitude, and here we see the first goal. And it's a very good goal. I love his opposite movement. He spins into that back. It's not his natural game. He's not a fast player. You know, he has the first, and you see him, he's almost disappointed with the first miss, but then he's back and lively for the follow-up chance. What I do love as well about the goal, as we mentioned, watch this for a pass. Jorginho in the middle there, look at him looking. And just as I'm watching this game, it did remind me of a pass that he played early on in the season, which I thought was pass of the season. That's probably, he might have even beat himself to the pass of the season. It was away at Watford at Vicarage Road for a Tammy Abraham goal. But as we see this one, it's a very good goal, very well worked. And you were mentioning as well, Tim, that's maybe why he plays Jorginho in that position, a deep line midfield instead of Kante.
Absolutely. Look, he checks his shoulder. He plays that ball first time. He knows it's there. It's no coincidence. It's not lucky that he does that. Yeah. Instinctively, he knows what weight to pass. He knows he's going to send the defenders back the way, facing their own goal. And for me, this is why he plays in there, other than N'Golo Kante. We know what Kante can give you winning the ball back, but in possession, he is a different class to him. And that is what, at the moment, Frank Lampard wants from his sitting midfield player. He can deliver passes.
That was a better assist, wasn't it? Because
Possibly.
he used the spin of the ball to fall into Abraham's.
Possibly, I mean, but what is probably a certainty is that was the best ball and the second best ball of the season. They were fantastic, both of them.
OK, well, let's move away then from events at Stamford Bridge, because the race for the top four continues on Matchday Live.